I will be talking to you about how to invest and purchase a property in North Cyprus safely in 9 steps. This is coming from me, a UK-trained lawyer with 16 years plus experience in North Cyprus in land law, property law and contract law. The first step is your legal consultation and power of attorney stage. At this stage, we expect to have you in our offices so we can give you legal consultation, explain you all of the legal procedure, the points you need to be careful about, your legal rights, the limitations as to how many properties you can purchase, and we ask you to give us a written authority in the form of a power of attorney so we can carry out the legal procedure in your absence with your authorization, which brings us to the second step. This is the step where you reserve the property and you let us know as soon as the reservation deposit is paid. The reservation deposits can be anything up to 5% of the property price, and once the payment is done, you have the right to reserve the property for up to 30 days. At this stage, you inform us about the reserved property so we can carry out and do all the due diligence and the checks for you, which brings us to step 3. During the due diligence stage, we check the title deed of the property, building permits, licensing and all the important points for you, and we give you an update and feedback about the property's due diligence. And we also ask the developer to send us the contract of sale, which brings us to stage 4, contract review. This is another crucial and important stage. Here we always ensure that the parties to the contract are truly and correctly written. It's important to have the landowner included in the contract at all times. We also check the payment plans to ensure that the payment plan has the right figures, right dates, and mirrors the speed of the construction of the project. It's also important to include clauses about breach of contract, what happens if you breach the contract, but also what happens if the developer breaches the contract. Another important aspect is to make sure that the contract describes the property you're buying correctly. All the floor plans, technical specifications, and the information about the property should be properly described in your contract. After your contract is thoroughly reviewed, we will be sending it for your approval, and once you approve, we will then send it back to the developer, informing them that you're now ready to make your down payment and sign and exchange the contract, which brings us to step 5, contract signing and exchanging. This is where we represent you with the power of attorney and with your authority. We physically attend the offices of the developer, and once the down payment is confirmed, we sign and exchange the contracts. It's important to know that in North Cyprus, e-signatures are not accepted, so the contracts must be physically signed and only wet signatures are acceptable. After that meeting with the developer, we then proceed to collect your copy of the contract. After your contract is signed and exchanged, we collect your copy from the developer, and that brings us to the next stage, which is stage 6, contract registration. This is one of the most important stages. It ensures that you are actually buying safely and your investment is secured. This is where we take your contract to the relevant district land registry and we inform them that you're now the rightful owner of this property through a sales contract. This essentially means that the property is blocked under your name. It's immune from any bank charges or court orders to be enforced against your property. It also means that the developer cannot sell the property to another third party without your knowledge or consent. So I would say this is the most secure way of buying. At this stage, you're expected to pay 0.5% stamp duty and partial transfer fee. At the moment, the transfer fee per property is 9%, and at contract registration stage, you're expected to prepay 6% out of the 9%. Once your contract is registered, we will then collect a stamped copy of the contract and proceed to purchase permit application stage, which is stage 7. Stage 7 is again one of the most important stages. In North Cyprus by law, you must always apply for a property purchase permission to the Minister of Interior as soon as you purchase your new property. At this stage, we always submit your stamped contract along with your criminal record from your home country, and there's also a fee approximately around £600. We will handle all of this on your behalf with your power of attorney, and we will keep monitoring and tracking the procedure. Currently, due to high demand, it takes around 12 to 24 months for a purchase permission to be granted. After your purchase permission is also applied, we will then proceed to monitor the construction, which will bring us to stage 8, key delivery. At key delivery stage, your property is now completed and you've been informed by the developer that you will be taking the key of your property, i.e. the possession of your property. At this stage, you will be asked to attend the key delivery and prepare a snagging list, which includes the small errors in the house. Once you submit the snagging list, the developer will then have the opportunity to repair all of the items submitted on the snagging list in a certain period of time. At this stage, we will be calculating the remaining balance of the transfer fee. Out of 9%, 6% had been previously paid, so we will calculate the 3% for you, and we'll also be calculating the 5% VAT of your property to be paid. For properties which are over 300 square meters, the VAT is 10%. All of these taxes will be payable simultaneously with the title deed transfer, and once your title deed transfer is completed, you will be the official legal owner of your property, which will bring us to the end of a successful buying process.